Blap Chat.
Yeah,
I just wanted to see how long I could hold that.
Yeah.
No, I've always wanted, like, after all these episodes, I've always wanted to just see how long I can hold it. Pause. And that was about what, like 4 seconds?
It was about 4 seconds.
That's not bad. I'm gonna do 6 seconds last time.
A little more practice.
So just aim for 7.
Yeah, I gotta work on my vocal cords. Pause. Welcome to Blap Chat, guys. Man, how you guys feeling?
Good. Amazing.
This is good, man.
Yeah.
New digs.
Yes.
New digs. Where we at, Atlas?
We're at Cast Sound Lab.
Cast Sound Lab
in Brooklyn. Big
in
shout
Brooklyn.
out to Preach.
Let's give a round of applause to Cast Sound Lab for hosting us. Hosting Blap Chat.
It's always love in Brooklyn.
It's bittersweet, man. Bittersweet times because like we're no longer in the RMG studio.
I didn't get to say bye.
Teardrop.
I missed that last one too.
Miss it.
I know. But you know, we made the place special.
Yeah,
it's about the people and the you know the people, the vibe. You know, so we're bringing the vibe somewhere else. But the space is just the space.
Yeah.
You know, but shout to the old RMG space. We definitely do miss it.
Yeah.
But we're here at our new digs. We're going to be here, you know, pretty much from here on out, you know, doing this. And we're happy to be here. So this is episode 37.
Wow.
37.
Wow.
Good number.
Almost a big 4-0.
You know what I'm saying?
Almost a big 4-0.
I was already thinking about 50.
That's when it's all
downhill
from there.
Hey, sometimes I think about like you know what things would be like by like 100.
Yeah,
like, that's kind of lit.
I just thought about the 100th episode.
Because,
I was like, that had to be some live.
That's some shit. Because like at this rate we're going, and we're so appreciative of like all of our listeners and our fans and you guys just supporting us and actually really like sitting down and listening to our show every week. We really appreciate it, and I think it's growing one by one. It's growing very organically, and it's because of you guys. So it's exciting to think about like episode 100 and what that would be like. Like, you know, just like, all right, Jay-Z, appreciate you guys, you coming through. Jay and Nas, we appreciate
Kanye, thanks for that collab.
Kanye, I appreciate you, you know, sliding through and all that. So yeah, one of those. But yeah, it's good, man. So yeah, episode 37. Last week we had a great episode. Glam, you're out. Glam was actually, you were working though.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I got
you
to
had a
do
show.
Something. Yeah, no, I had it was a performance. I did shot something for Centric. Look out for it. If you watch Centric, June plus Black Music Month. I did a live like performance with them, and it was like
tight.
Yeah, they celebrate. I didn't know Centric was a women's channel.
It is?
Yeah, I thought it was just. Yeah,
wait, is that on public? It's like
it's like BET, but it's like Centric. But I thought Centric was just like more like upscale, grown and sexy version of BET. But come to find out, it's because it's a females channel. So I was
that's tight.
So they do this thing where it's like Black women musicians, and like they wanted to like have them record different jam sessions, but I did my beat machine in a gym.
Ooh,
nice. I was at a beat machine in the gym, so it's supposed to be coming out like really soon because it's Black Music Month right now, so it should be coming out on Centric. And like got the new single out, project coming.
Come on, let's plug it. Let's plug
it.
So wait, let's slow down because this is a big deal,
right? Yeah.
First of all, it's a big deal because not only because you're the homie and you're one of my favorite artists, but it's exciting to know that you're working on new music. So you have this thing with Centric. You guys should tune in for sure. Centric. Check out Glam's performance, and then tell us about the music.
Well, the project is called Oxygen, but it's spelled AUX, like ox.
Oh,
like
shit.
So it's just a 7-song EP. It's short and sweet. I just released the new track off of it called Mistletoe. It's on Spotify right now. And that's a big deal because I've never had like music. I have had music on Spotify before, but not like this and not as consistent as it's getting ready to be. So it's going to be a completely different glam. And
that's amazing.
I'm excited. July 28th. Definitely look into it.
So
you know
all
what I'm
platforms
saying?
Available.
Yeah,
on all
it's gonna
platforms.
be everywhere. Yeah, it's
all
on SoundCloud right now and like Spotify, but like the project will be out like on those same handles as well. So like, it's
July
my baby.
28th. Oxygen, Glam.
Are you planning
major
any
retailers.
visuals?
That's what I'm working on right now. I'm about to team up with some in-home, you know, in-house production and reach out to some other places to see, because that's been the main thing, is providing the visual content. That's always been my thing. I've always had the music, but the content never was like on point and consistent at the same time. So it's like Now that's not about to be
Wow.
like an issue.
It must feel good.
I'm trying to like make
Yeah.
sure I conceptualize but not overthink shit,
Right.
but
Yeah.
like still do it. You know what I'm saying, at the same time.
I think this is like an exciting time, but also like probably the most stressful because it's like you work so hard at something and then you're finally ready to roll it out, and you just want it to be so flawless. But the nature of the industry
you gotta
is just like
do it. You
do
gotta
it.
just go.
Yeah.
Like you literally have to go because like you can sit back and oh don't have this and I don't have that. No, you just have to like go no matter what. It's more of like an accepting things and security that comes with you being an artist. Like you just gotta like be where you at. And I think that's where I am now. I'm like, man, I don't even care so much how it comes out. It just needs to be in the world right now. So
Exactly.
regardless of how I go about it at this point.
Yeah,
Amazing.
And you have
Die.
the single out. The single? Is
Yeah,
the single
it's
out?
just a buzz track because people are like, oh, for the people who have listened to it, Mistletoe is not supposed to be like a big single. It's just a buzz track. It's just like letting people know, like, yeah,
You're
you know
coming.
what I'm saying? Like
You're
I'm
here.
here.
Get
Yeah,
ready.
you know what
I'm
I'm saying?
here.
Get ready.
You know what I'm saying? But like,
You're
yeah, it's not supposed to be like a song. The songs are coming though, like the actual songs. So
tight.
They're
And you're
just-
producing most of it.
all of it,
All
all of it,
of
it.
everything on there
Beast.
is all my
Beast mode.
yeah, and
Beach
then,
mode.
But also, I mean, like, I don't want to give away too much. But I was just telling like the songs to me, they're a couple of years old. So these were like songs that I worked with my music like homeboy, like
Right.
who I came up and did music with, and then we like did it together. But
Uh-huh.
it's just now coming out, so
That's
it's
great.
like yeah, he definitely put his spin on it, but it it's still
Yeah.
all me.
It's your
You know what I'm
brainchild.
saying?
It's
yeah,
you.
like it's
Glam.
definitely like
I love
Wow.
it. I can't wait.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go support it. All you guys listening should definitely
Yeah.
support. It's like
July 28th.
yeah,
July 28th,
28th.
Oxygen, Glam. Like she again. Like I've been a fan of hers for a long time.
thank
She's
you.
really good at what she does. So go
that's
get it.
How and then just how I met you too. Like,
Yeah.
he hit me up on Twitter. Was just like, oh yeah, Bowl. It was like one of my
Yeah.
like old ass.
Yeah.
It's an old ass mixtape song.
Yep.
And he was just like, yeah, Bowl's my shit. And I was like, who is this?
That was
This is
2010.
That was a
Crazy.
minute
2011.
ago.
7 years ago.
Yeah.
2010, yo.
Ooh.
I remember because I was
Ooh.
in my I was living in Jersey at the time. And
Yeah, I was
I was like,
in
yo,
New York,
what
yeah.
is this mixtape? Like, who's this like
How
from
did
the
you?
Bay?
Did somebody send it to you, or you just came up on some site like DJ Booth or
yo,
some shit?
yeah, yeah, it was. I think it might have been DJ Booth. Honestly,
Honestly,
shout
no.
to Nathan and
Yeah,
Z.
because they put on, they support.
They
They're
support
So
you,
yeah,
yeah.
shout out to DJ Booth. And
Shout to
like,
DJ Booth. They've supported a lot of guys over the years, man.
Yeah.
They're one of the good guys out here,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
DJ Booth, two dope boys. Those are the homies, Mecca and Shake. There's a lot of them out
lot of
there,
people
man.
out there.
Minya, Miss Info. I call her Minya, but Miss Info has been support. So
You're like, oh.
yeah. Shout to everybody who's been supporting. But go
supports.
get Glam's project.
Yeah, when it comes out, I'm gonna drop that bomb
Drop
one more
that-
time
that
next
flex
time.
bomb.
Yeah, July 28th, Oxygen.
Oxygen.
Fire.
Man, we need to make it more of a habit to like plug stuff because everyone here at this table, like we're all very creatives. Atlas is also creative too.
Right,
For those who don't
yeah,
like,
yeah.
he sings and raps. I mean, I'm sure he's
Right.
coming out with a project at some point.
It's on the way.
Mundo.
It's on the way.
Mundo!
Mundo!
Me-
Bit of
yeah.
beats.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I've been trying to keep busy too, just mainly by like trying to align. That's like, I've been busy, but I've been trying to align myself with people who are doing the same things,
Yep.
you know what I'm saying, who know more than me, you know what I'm saying, obviously, and just trying to keep it focused that way. That's what you're
Right.
supposed to do that's what everybody tells me.
Yeah,
OGs tell
it's
you,
true.
surround yourself by people who are obviously smarter than you and
Yeah.
better than you, and that's what I've been trying to do by keeping busy. Like, I just been outside. I don't really like being
Yeah.
outside, but
yeah.
sun's out.
The sun's out. You gotta come out.
New
You gotta
York
get
is
out.
kind of, I don't know.
Yeah.
I still brought my jacket.
Yeah.
It's 71, but
This week is going to be nice, but you're
I
right.
hope
You got to
so.
get out, and we spoke about that last week about being around greatness and
Yep.
people that are more successful than you. Like Avian, I wanted to ask you, or Perfection, sorry. What you're around a lot of people.
Yeah.
I mean, you work at you're in Engine Room, you manage the studio, a lot of A-listers going through there, and obviously you're a producer, you're your own creative entity too. What kind of like benefits or pros have you experienced just being around in the studio and like running into all these like different celebrities and musicians? Like, what's that like? I don't think I've ever asked you that.
It's good. I mean, you know, in this industry, in order to kind of like build your network and to be respected, you got to kind of keep your composure when you're around a lot of those people. So it's allowed me to kind of build relationships in a way where, you know, we can just grow, and it's not like temporary. It's not me needing something from you or you needing something from me. It's a genuine relationship. So in that sense, it's just allowed me to kind of get experience to where I can build those relationships further than just, you know, the temporary, I guess. And then just, you know, being around creatives is just inspiring. You know what I mean? It's inspiring, it's motivating. And, you know, again, being around people that have been there and done that allows me to kind of get more experience with everything I'm doing, whether it be the management aspect of it or engineering or producing. You know, you take a little bit of everything and you know, you just apply it. And that's what I've been doing. And you know, I'm grateful. It's busy, it's a lot of work, but you know, like Glam said, you just got to keep going and put yourself out there. You know, that's the only way that like things will progress.
You have to put yourself out there. You really do. This is the episode where I interview you guys. I love it. I'm not done with you guys. Atlas. So Atlas, let's talk to Atlas.
I'm here.
Some people know, like hardcore Atlas the Plug fans know, but for those who don't, you know, Atlas, as long as I've known him, he's been he started as an artist. I mean, you were a songwriter, singer, you were in a group. You were actually the lead vocalist and lead writer for your group.
That's correct.
And you evolved from there, and you know, kind of just always had a foot in music. And then when we met back in, I want to say 09 maybe, you know, that was when I started my little band and our group Smoky Robotic, which was like so amazing. And you were a part of that, and you know, you just kind of kept your foot in the music. So like, based on your starting point, like what are some things that you've kind of done over the years that, you know, allowed for you to kind of be where you're at today?
Yeah, I think, you know, and I think this goes for any artist, and I know me and Il, we spoke about it a little downstairs off the air, but I think it's really important for people to diversify their portfolio, right? So if you're a producer, that doesn't mean make a pop track and then make a country track and then do a reggae track. I'm not talking about that.
Can you imagine doing that all in one day?
Right. I'm talking about diversifying your portfolio where, you know, you're also a DJ. And then, you know, you might have a studio in your crib, so you're finding local talent, and then you find someone you think is really dope and you kind of start managing them, you know? Or like, you know, you start your own club, your own producer club, or you're putting out kits, you're making kits and you're putting them out. So it's really important to not focus on just getting placements as a producer, in my opinion, because one, that's going to drive you nuts, because you're going to be sitting there like, why can't I get my stuff to Jay? Well, first of all, Jay has his people he's already going to way before you come around. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's important for producers or artists or just anyone in general is like, start expanding your network and what you're doing, because if you start getting a little bit of equity here and a little bit of equity over there and a little bit of equity of 5% here, 10% there, you know, 20% here, 25 there, one of those things are going to pop eventually, maybe two, you know? So if you're not diversifying your portfolio and you're just, you know, focusing on one thing, I'm not saying you won't be able to do it. It's probably going to take a lot longer, or it might not ever happen and then you're stuck. So I think it's really important. So when I started, you know, I started in a group, right? I was a songwriter. I was a singer. Was I the best singer? Was I the best songwriter? Probably not, but I gave it 110%. And then I moved into managing studios, recording studios, right? And then I started managing. I had one in Times Square called Sound Association, and I started doing that. Then I moved into managing artists. You know, I was managing a rapper, then I started moving into managing producers. Big shout out to J2, who's actually in the building.
Shout out to J2 in the building.
What's up? Yeah. And then, you know, I met Il, and then, you know, I started, you know, when he was in Smoky Robotic, you know, I believed in their music so much, because, you know, I mean, he was producing, and you had Conrad Old Money on there, who's amazing. You had Father Dude singing lead, like R&B crooner, and then you had, you know, Seer, you had Zach, who was rapping, you know, and their music was so dope. So like, I believed in these guys from the beginning, and I wasn't managing them, but wherever they went, I went. Like they flew to LA, I bought my own ticket. I went to LA. I got my room right next to their room. They had a show there wasn't a sound guy. Guess what? I'm the sound guy. I mean, excuse me, they didn't have a light guy. I'm the light guy now. So I knew all the songs. So I would just go up and say, okay, show me the strobe light, show me the dimmer, and how to change the colors.
Yep.
And I knew, okay, the chorus is coming on, strobe lights. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, this is the verses. Okay, let's dim it down a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So like I put myself in situations, regardless if I knew how to do it or not, I just dove in head first. Pause.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I love that. Yo, and
Right.
I mean, that's just a testament to like where you are now. And,
Right.
and obviously all of us have just so much more we want to accomplish. But I think the idea there is, you know, and we were talking about this again earlier outside for a little bit, you know, you don't really know if you're good at something or if you like doing something unless you just try.
Exactly.
And if you try doing something and it fails, or you figure you're not good at it, and, you know, you're just like, this is not for me, then what's the worst that can happen? You move on to the next thing and explore some more. So it's almost like a life thing where it's like just constant exploration of interests, and then like, okay, maybe this is fun, maybe I can do this for the next 4 years, and then you do it for 4 years, and it's like, oh shit, like I can keep going because like I'm pretty good at this. Or it's like 4 years, fuck, you know, this wasn't really for me. One of those. So yeah, I really believe that, Atlas.
Yeah,
like,
it's all about evolving. Like we're humans, right? We evolved depending on what you believe, right?
Yeah.
So like you just have to evolve. You know, I have friends that started in the music industry when I started that are now like, you know, dads and, you know,
Right.
kids and, you know, the white picket fence and all married. And listen, that's all great. But every single one of them tell me, yo, good shit.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you. You stuck with it. You kept going, and you're like part of that 1% that does music
Right.
full time. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Like this is my full time job. You know, so
Right. So what would your piece of advice be to the and I know you were talking to someone about this earlier, but your piece of advice to like the music producer that is, you know, currently focused on like, okay, I'm making a lot of beats. I feel like I'm ready. I feel like I'm good enough. How do I start making money to start, you know, generating income to do this full time? You know, where does that type of person start?
Well, what you do is you do 3 beats, buy one, get one free. No, just 99 cents. No, I'm
Bologna
kidding.
beats. Bologna sandwich.
beats.
I'm
2 beats
kidding.
for 99
Listen,
cents.
you can make money there too, but you know we've gone. Let's focus
I got
on this
quarter
right
water
now.
beats.
Yeah.
Oh God.
So I did a video consult today, and the guy is in the Navy,
Okay.
and he's a producer, and he's in the Navy. And he was like, oh, you know, I'm like, I got these beats. And he played them for me. And the beats were good.
Right.
The beats were good. But I was like, that's good. But how are you building your brands?
Right.
Like, you have the beats, okay. But like, do people know who you are? Are you putting like, I said, first of all, you're in the Navy. And he was like in his like uniform,
Wow.
like fresh off the boat.
Right.
Right. And I was like, you should make videos of you if you're allowed. I'm not sure, but he said he can wing it. I said, why don't you make videos of you? I think he uses he uses Reason to Master, whatever he's
Hey.
using.
Right.
Reason
Reason.
period.
Right. So
Team Reason.
I said it would be dope if you were on the ship in your uniform where they can see the ship, see the background, have someone video you.
That's tight.
Making a beat.
Yeah. That's
Put
tight.
it up on YouTube, like put it on your gram, like. And he had a name. I don't want to say his name because he's gonna change it after we spoke. The name is not good, right?
Okay, so we'll wait
Yeah.
for off air.
Yeah, I'll
wait.
tell you the name off air.
Yeah.
But what I told him, his name should be something like, you know, and not this, but just visually it makes sense. You know, Navy guy who makes beats on the boat, whatever the hell
Yeah.
your name
Whatever that
is,
is, yeah.
whatever your name is, and like, cause no one's doing that. So
Right.
imagine like, yo, did you see that guy who's in the Navy who makes the beats on the ships? Yo, those beats are hard. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So like,
That would be some shit.
that's what I'm saying.
You know what? It's interesting that you say that because this example goes directly back to our conversation 2 episodes ago when we were talking about Contagious.
How to go
and
viral, the
how
viral
things
thing?
go viral.
Right.
I think you missed that one.
Yeah, I did.
But it was basically just the idea of like that, like the fact that there's a guy producing music and he's in the Navy and like maybe he's like making beats on a boat and you see it and you see like the weaponry everywhere, whatever it is, got the
Crazy.
uniform. Like that's compelling enough to like see like on a Facebook feed and say, yo, that's kind of cool. Let me click this and watch this. You know
Do
what
you
I mean?
remember when Cannabis rapped?
Oh, yeah.
And he was in like the army. I
Yep.
believe he was in the army.
Yeah, he
and
was.
he was in front of that big gun tank
Yep.
thing, whatever. And he was spitting those bars, and it was super hot.
Yep.
that kind of went viral. So it was like, so I envisioned that when he was telling me what he does, I was like, bro, this would be crazy for you, you know? And then as we were talking too, he's like, yeah, you know, it's like, I was like, are you working with any artists? So he played me a couple of records. It's these guys from Fort Lauderdale.
Right.
And they're like kind of popping right now in Fort Lauderdale. And he played me the records and they were really good. I was like, so what are you doing with these guys? Like, he was like, oh, I'm not really sure. Like, you know, I'm kind of helping them. I was like, bro, you should be managing them. Right. And he was like, wow, you know, like they kind of asked me, but I've never managed anyone before, so I don't really know what to do. I was like, first of all, if you don't do it, 2, 3, 4 years are going to go by, 5 years are going to go by, you're going to shoot yourself. You're going to regret not doing it. Yep. Okay. If they pop, you're going to regret not doing it. And even if they don't and time goes by, like we just said, you're going to regret it. So I said to him, I was like, you should manage these guys. And he's like, wow, you know what? He's like, they've even asked me to manage them. And wow. I said, look, you already got a few steps ahead. They're already kind of popping in Fort Lauderdale. They're booking their own shows. They're writing their own music. They have their own studio. You just got to come help like organize stuff.
Exactly.
And be the facilitator and, you know, get their Google calendars popping and, you know, and just keep everything organized. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, man, he's like, I was kind of thinking that, you know, in my head, but hearing you actually say, and me and Il were talking about this too. Sometimes you need someone else outside who's not in your immediate circle just to tell you.
Right.
Yep.
And then you're gonna, you know, dive.
Outside confirmation.
Yeah, and then you'll feel confident enough to just dive right in and do it. You know, so you know, if you're afraid, if you have an opportunity that comes your way, and you're afraid, you feel like scared, do it. I agree. Do it. Every single time you get scared, dive right into it and do it.
I agree with that, except for bungee jumping and skydiving.
Skydiving.
Or just jumping off a building.
I want to do that.
Both of those things are bullshit because the risk.
There's a big risk.
The risk is death.
Yo, literally. Have you ever been to?
I don't believe in that, man.
I think it's Vegas. I think it's Vegas or Atlantic City. No,
too much.
Have you been to Vegas? Anyone here been to Vegas?
Absolutely.
Okay, so in Vegas,
I hang out in Vegas all the time.
Okay, yeah.
I'm so
like
surprised.
every other day, I'm there.
You'll be there.
So anyone who's been to Vegas knows they have like this tower thing where you can like kind of bungee off the tower. Yeah. And then they got the roller coaster on the top where you almost fall off the edge. Right?
I know the stratosphere.
Yeah, the stratosphere.
That thing is crazy.
So
that thing is crazy.
So me talking my shit, I was like, oh man, I'm not afraid of heights. I'm gonna go do that. Yo, I went to Vegas and I went up there and I was like, oh hell no, bro!
No,
take me down from this. Like, I backed out. I got scared.
Have you got on the King Dakai?
I did. I love that.
What is that?
It's a great adventure ride. King Dakai.
Oh, what is it?
But that was kind of like.
What does it kind of like replicate? What is it close to?
It just goes. It shoots straight up. And it just goes like.
You go like 0 to like 100 in like.
It just goes around
4 seconds.
Oh, okay.
But it's like
it's a lot.
100.
You got on it?
Yo. You want to hear a funny story about the King Dakai?
Yeah.
You want to hear a funny story?
Oh, yeah.
So with the King Dakai, before you go on, like...
Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
It is, right?
King Dakai, something like that.
I never knew.
So there's like a little bridge you can stand on to watch everyone kind of go on and go on the ride, right? So my buddy, he's going to kill me for saying the story.
Uh-oh.
My buddy was on there with his girlfriend, right? And he's like... kind of afraid of heights and all that stuff, but I was like, nah, bro, come on, don't do it. Like, come on, your girl's here, come on, you know, like I was kind of egging him on, right? So he goes and he's in there and they're like getting him all ready. And then and I'm standing on the bridge, he's looking right at me, right? And like I kind of knew right before they were gonna take off. So right before they're gonna take off, I was like, yo, your seatbelt.
No.
He was like, oh, and the thing
that's fucked up.
Yo, and the thing took off,
wow.
right?
He was strapped in though, right?
Yeah, he was strapped in. He was good. I was totally messing around with him.
Oh my god.
But yo, when he came back down, he was like, he was really like angry with me for like 2 hours.
Did he beat you?
For 2 hours, I had to like. He was really like mad.
But he should have known that his shit was like.
It was a joke.
I know, but it's just like, I've seen that too, where those people like getting ready to jump up and they pretend like, oh my god, no. That's not cool.
That's not cool.
Why do you think that's cool?
Parachute on. Your parachute.
You're like, wait. As soon as I get back, if I don't die, I'm killing you. Like I will fuck you up. Like, what are you talking about?
That's fucked up.
Yeah,
but you know, it's funny because like that goes. I always tie shit into like a thing, but that goes it goes back to life. It goes back to like you said at like getting out. This is gonna be hilarious, but like getting out there and like being around people, right?
Yeah.
Like you can't you can't expect to like, you know, and I always speak from the perspective of the music producer, but like you can't expect to like get out there and become successful if you're not meeting people. Or like but physically getting out there, not just like on Instagram and like on your IG live or like talking to people online. Like that's good, but like you have to get into the real world too, and just meet people, right? So like you're like a social butterfly, right? Like you're very social, you're good with people. You know, what were some things that like kind of you did? You know, because everyone starts somewhere. I mean, how did your band get together? Like, where did you meet your? How'd you meet everyone?
All right, well, we got time, right?
But because if it wasn't for you starting this boy band,
it's what it was. It was a boy band. That's what it was. Yeah, it was a boy band. Yeah,
you know,
you could say it.
You know, then maybe you wouldn't even be here. Right
I would.
now.
No, I definitely wouldn't be here, and I'll tell you why. So, I went. So, when I was like, how old was I? I was like 17, 18. I lived in Brooklyn, right? Single parent home in Brooklyn, and no musical relationships. Nobody. I knew nobody. So my mom worked in Manhattan, and I was telling her, I was like, yo, I want to go to like auditions, but I don't really know where to look. And she was like, well, there's this newspaper called The Village Voice that comes out once a week on like Thursdays or something like that. I said, okay, well, you work in Manhattan. Can you pick up The Voice for me? And, you know, so each week she'd bring The Voice home. And I would look through, and in the back of The Voice, and it's still there to this day, so if you guys want to do this, you still can. And in the back of The Village Voice, there's an auditioning, like, music kind of section.
Wow.
And it said RCA Records is holding an audition open call. So I went. And at the time, I was waiting tables at Fashion Cafe, which was a restaurant which was owned by models in Rockefeller Center, right? So I like went to the audition, and I go to the audition, and the line is around the block.
Oh, wow.
And I have to be at work in like an hour. I was like, F it, I'm staying, I don't care, right?
Oh, shit.
So I get my number. I'm like number 700, and I think I was 763, I actually remember, right? So I waited, and as I'm online, I'm standing online, and this guy comes up to me, and his name is D Morris, and he comes up to me, and you know, he's like, yo, I'm really feeling your look. He's like, I was like, whoa, chill, boy.
Did you have cornrows at the time?
I didn't have. I had my hair long, but I didn't have the rolls. That was
straight up
That's
said,
what
yo,
I was getting ready to ask. Like, did you have the rolls?
He was like, yo, I'm feeling. Yo, it was funny. He's like, yo, I'm feeling your look. So at first I was a little like, hey, you know.
Right, hold up, homie.
Of course.
I respect that. Thank you, but you know, hey,
they didn't do pause back then.
Yeah,
so
no,
there was no pause. It's just like, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, back off, dude.
So
why you all on my grill?
So he comes up to me.
Grills?
So he comes
That's
up to me, and he's like, let me ask you a question. He's like, do you write songs? Little did he know, I had a book bag with 2 notebooks full of songs that I wrote, and I was like, yeah, you know, I write a little bit. I got a couple, you know.
I got bars.
So he was like, let me hear something. So I sang like an original song. Now like 8 bars of it, and he was like, yo, it's really dope. He's like, let me get your number. You know, I said, okay, bet. So he takes my number, and he was auditioning too at the same time. So finally my audition comes in, you know, you go on the stage, there's like, you know, the execs are there and you sing or whatever. So I sang the original song, and I got a call back. So next time I went, from like 1,000 guys, there was like, you know, 500, you know what I'm saying? Then I went, I got another call back. I literally made it down to the last 5 guys.
Nice.
Okay.
That's crazy.
To the last 5 guys. They didn't pick me. And I was kind of heartbroken at the time, but I realized even then, I was like, you know what? This shows me that music is like, I should be going that. I've never had a vocal lesson. I've never did anything. Like, this is probably the way I should go.
Yeah.
So, long story short, I don't get picked. I'm watching TRL.
Wow, shout
on
out to
MTV.
TRL.
I miss TRL.
Right?
I miss
That shit
TRL.
was
I'm
legit.
watching, and I think Tatiana Ali was the host, if I'm not mistaken. And she's on there, and she's like, yeah, so we don't have just anyone out here in the crowd. Step up here, young man. She reaches down and she pulls up the guy, and it's Demo, the guy that I saw online.
Oh, the one that hit on you.
The one, he didn't hit on me, but yeah. But
Shout
yeah.
out to Demo. I'm just kidding.
So I see him, and I was like, oh, snap. So like, I had his number, but I was like, I'm not going to call him right now. I'm going to wait. Let me wait a little while. So I call him like a week later, and he's like, oh, man, you know, I'm doing my solo thing now. You know, I'm not really doing the group. I said, okay, cool. You know, no problem.
Yeah.
So like 2 months go by. I get a random phone call, middle of the night. It's him. He's like, yo, I think you're hot. No, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. He was like,
I like your hair.
He was like,
Let me
yo,
braid your hair.
Where'd you get your shoes?
braid your hair.
Let me braid your hair, bro.
Like,
I think you're, yeah.
So he hits me up. He's like, yo, congratulations. I'm like, congratulations. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, you're one of the finalists in the group, da 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 da. And I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. So I set up a meeting with him, and it turns out, so basically, long story short, he wanted to start a group, and he's an African American. I'm Puerto Rican. So he was like, yo, let's go out and find 2 more guys, an Asian guy and a Caucasian guy, and we'll call the group Fusion.
That's crazy.
And I was like, bet. So what? So
let's do it.
So I was like, bet. Let's do it. So what I did was I put an ad in the Village Voice, right? I went out and I made flyers. I literally went to Kinko's, printed them out, cut them all up. I had like hundreds of them. I went on the subway and passed them out to everyone who looked like they might do music or know someone who does music. So for like a week, I went every day and was passing out flyers on the train. I rented out a it was like a little office space. And, you know, I put a little table and some chairs, and I put the date. And the first person we casted for was an Asian singer. So I had all these Asian guys come in and sing. And it was really funny because they were nervous.
So fun.
They were nervous sitting like, I'm across the table. I'm nobody at the time, right? And they're nervous, like, oh my God, I'm so nervous. And I'm like looking at them like,
wait, so the only way they would have came to the thing was if they received a flyer?
Received the flyer or saw the ad in the Village Voice.
Or the Village Voice,
right,
okay.
Right.
Wow.
So I had like 20, 30 guys show up.
Jesus Christ.
And you know, I auditioned them and I found the one, and his name is Arnold. AC is what we called him. Shout out to AC. And I did the same exact process for the Caucasian guy who ended up being
Father Dude.
Who ended up being Father Dude.
Oh my God.
And that's how I met Father Dude.
Shout to Mitch.
Yeah, Mitch, aka
He's
Father
not
Dude.
Father Dude. He's Mitch.
He's Mitch. Yeah. Mitchell. But
from Long Island.
From East Meadow. Yeah.
I love
so
Mitch.
That's how I met Mitch. And then we started the group. And our first gig ever was on Fuse, live on Fuse in the studio right across the street from Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
Dennis, his name was Dennis the Menace. I don't know if you remember him, but Dennis the Menace was the host, and he's actually started acting, and he did a couple of movies. But Dennis the Menace gave us our first shot, and we sang live on the air, a cappella. We killed it. Murdered it. It's somewhere out there. You can find this footage somewhere.
I was like, I'm going to Google it.
Yeah,
Where is
you
it?
can find this footage.
That's holy shit.
So anyway.
My mind is blown right now.
Yeah, so basically, long story short, that was like my first, you know, break into like the music business, you know, and then I was doing vocal classes with Craig Derry. Shout out to Craig Derry. And then, so anyway, the group ended up breaking up, but we were all roommates. We all moved in together because that was like when Making the Band was big.
That's crazy.
Right? So we all lived together. We were rehearsing 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. We rehearsed 5 days a week, and then the group broke up.
Right.
So I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I can't believe it. My dreams,
Yeah.
it's all over. I got to go back to a 9 to 5. And I did. I was waiting tables. And then the group broke up. And then Mitch was doing his solo thing. And, you know, his first EP he came out with, I wrote like the first 3 singles from his first EP that he ever came out, right? And then Mitch was telling me like, yeah, like I met this guy, Zach, and you know, we're starting a group and it's called Smokey Robotic, and there's this producer named Illmind. And I was like, who is Illmind? Like I didn't know at the time.
This was probably 08, 09.
Yeah, 08, 09, exactly. And then boom. So if I wouldn't have started that group and never did that, I would have never, I would have never met
And that was, at that time, I met Zach.
Right.
Because, and I met Zach, I'll keep it short, but in 2009, I started this live producer thing called Blap. Surprise, surprise. Beats, Love, Alcohol Party. And it was at a bar. And one of the producers that was in the cypher brought his friend, and that friend was Zach, who he's talking about.
Wow.
And so Zach just came up to me. I was outside, and he came up to me, complete stranger. And he's like, yo, Illmind, what's up, man? I rap. Can I play you some of my shit? And he whipped out his iPod, right? And headphones. And usually when people do that to me, I'm just like, no, just like email me. I don't really like listening, whatever, like sharing earbuds. That's kind of, it's kind of sus. But something about it was just like, yo, I'm going to listen to this cat. And I put the joints on, and he played me a song. And I was like, yo, that's you rapping? All right, dope. And then he played another one. I was like, yo, that's you singing? He was like, no, it's my man Father Dude, blah, blah. So then we got together. I invited him to my house in Jersey, and then we made a song. And that was around the time that I started like actually thinking about developing artists. So I was like investing a lot of time in him. Right. And then I got introduced to Father Dude, the same guy that was in Atlas's band. And we started, the three of us and then another producer from Vancouver, we started a pop group called Smokey Robotic. And, you know, that was like in my artist development kind of phase. And then I met Atlas eventually because of Father Dude, because they became good friends. And that was it. But like so many stars had to align.
It's crazy.
And listen.
True.
This podcast may not even really be happening, really, if it wasn't for all of those things happening together.
Yeah.
So, like, I guess this long story short, I think the conclusion to all this is basically like, when you're out there meeting people, you just really never know. You know, it's like this was like almost 7 years in the making, in a way, right?
It's pretty crazy.
It's nuts.
I remember meeting Glam in LA at the Blap House. You know, when so for people who aren't familiar with the Blap House was, so Ill would rent out a house in LA. This was the first one we did, and it basically made the house a recording studio. And he would invite, you know, people that he knew or upcomers or people that he was messing with. And that's how I met Glam. She came through with her mom, right?
Thanks.
Sorry.
Yes,
Nyla,
came through with Nyla.
I love you, Nyla.
Yeah, but no, my mom is cool as fuck.
Yeah, your mom's the homie. Yeah.
No,
it's not weird.
I love when she pops up on my timeline.
Yeah, she's good.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was already familiar with you.
Yeah.
So when I found out it was you, I was like, oh my God.
I remember Ill was telling me about you before you got there.
I was like, yo, she's dope. Yo, she's Bay, yo.
Yeah.
She can rap, she produces, you know. But yeah, it's just such a it's very interesting. The connections that happen, and then even with you, Avian, like with the Engine Room Connect and just all the same people that we know, it's like pretty wild.
It's so funny because I remember like when we did the holiday party, they were taking a picture of me and Illmind came and just like photobombed me, but I didn't know him at the time. So like, you know, just
like
going
we literally didn't know each other at all.
Yeah, at all. Like I knew Atlas, but he photobombed me. Yeah. And I was like, it's just funny how life works.
Yeah.
I don't know, something about it, I was like, yo, like we're gonna do work together at some point. You know, and it happened. But I think you have to manifest that stuff. Like, and in order to do that, you have to go out. Like, you know, it's like we do these producer ciphers and stuff so that maybe that can happen for other people, or maybe we'll meet people. You know, you guys do the holiday party at Engine Room. I'm sure there's so many connections that happen just at that party alone. You know, like it's nuts. It's
crazy
nuts.
every year.
Every year it gets crazier. Oh my gosh. Shout out to Engine Room, man.
Hell yeah.
There's a lot of history over there.
The last one was dope.
Last one was amazing. Last one was amazing. But yeah, I think the moral of the story is get out there, network, meet people. You just never know. I made this suggestion on my IG Live a couple weeks ago, and I said, if you are, you know, if you're a producer and you're at the crib most of the time, you're making music, which is amazing and fine. I said, set yourself a goal and do this once a week. Pick a day during the week. Let's say it's Thursday. Go to a coffee shop and just start talking to a stranger. Just go up to him and talk to him. You know, it doesn't have to be really for any intention. Like, the intention is really just to spark conversation. So I don't know. I like that approach. I think people should do that more often. Just go up to someone and just spark conversation. You know, I mean, that's definitely not a New York thing. So it might be hard.
That's where my
give me that
face
look.
You might get it too.
I was playing it in my head, like, how would that go?
It's not a New York thing.
Like, doing that,
you know, and I wouldn't suggest, you know, doing it in the hood. I wouldn't do it in the hood. But
what you mean, thank you?
Yeah, but you know,
what you mean, hello?
What you mean?
About high. The fuck is high?
What you mean? What do I do?
You waving at me? You don't know me.
What? I can't open my own door.
People are too hostile out here.
Yeah,
what do you mean? What do I do?
What do I do?
Yeah. What you mean? Who I know?
No, that is valid though. If someone came up to me and said, "Yo, what do you do?" I would be like, "Yo, what the fuck do you do, man?"
Yeah. Who's asking? You the
Who's
cops?
asking? Yeah.
Who is you?
Where your grandma live?
Whenever I'm in the Uber, right? I don't like talking to the driver. I hate when the drivers talk to me.
Don't talk to me.
I agree.
Right? It's really annoying.
I don't know.
But they're trying to network.
Two things. But still, but it's business. They're working.
That's
they're
true.
working. They're working.
Yeah, they're not
right?
supposed to be
So,
chatty.
Yeah,
right.
chatty patty.
If you're gonna like do that pitch, either wait till the end, like when the ride's almost over, they're paying. You know, yo, I overheard. You know, maybe, but like, it's all right. Uber drivers and barbers.
Yeah.
When you're doing your work, don't talk to us. Like,
Right.
I don't
Barbers
want to
should
talk
not
to
be
you.
saying
No, but some
shit.
people like the barbers chatting, and some people do.
If you
I
really popping
personally
like
don't.
that,
You know what
I
I hate?
don't.
What?
The fucking gym.
Oh,
yeah.
When
Talking
I'm
at the
working
gym?
out, don't
Oh.
talk to me.
Yeah.
They talk to you at
Oh,
the
I
gym?
don't. Yeah,
Yes.
you can talk to
It
at the
doesn't.
gym.
It doesn't because I think I have like the resting bitch face in the
Yeah.
gym where it's
Oh,
just
yeah.
like I'm
I
just
don't
here to
want to
work
talk to
out.
you.
Yeah.
But I went to the gym with my cousin last week, and there was like this guy. He looks like a fucking creep.
Right.
Yeah.
Like he's just
man.
He
walking
probably is
around
a
in a
creep.
gym. Yeah, like
Oh,
he looks
man.
like the type that's bored at home, has a gym membership, kind of
And-
wants to work out, but
Right.
is not really
Really?
into it.
Right.
But just
Kind of
goes
sounds
to
like me a little.
Have something
But no,
to do.
he goes to do like to just be there, which it is what it is. But then he starts like walking around,
Hang out
looking
by the
at
water
girls.
fountain.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
so
Oh, no,
weird.
that's
asking
fucked up.
girls questions. Like he
That's
asked
not
me
cool.
and my cousin something, and my cousin was just like,
That's
"Are
not
you
cool.
a teacher asking questions?"
That's not
Let-
cool.
let me tell
maybe
you.
maybe he was an
Oh.
aspiring
Let
producer
me
trying
tell
to
you.
network.
Yo, I used to
don't know.
He
work.
was like
at-
someone's 45-year-old.
Oh man.
I used to work at a bunch of different
That's not cool.
gyms, and let me tell you, there are a lot of weirdos in there.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
serious, like from the locals that live in the area that come work out to like the trainers.
Yeah.
Trust me, they're floating around in there. The creepers, they're in
They're
there
floating.
working,
Yeah.
or like being a member. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Trust me. I mean, they're
Especially-
everywhere though, but you know.
Especially Spanish men.
Oh, forget
Sorry,
it.
I'm
That's
Dominican.
Mm.
I'm Dominican. I can
She
say
can
it.
say it. She can
Spanish
say
men. Yes.
Listen,
Me and my cousin were in the gym, and like she does
Mommy.
not go to the gym at all. She has a daughter. You know, I'm not like a gym head, but I've
Right.
been, you know,
You be
like
in there.
I be
You
in the
be
gym here and
Yeah.
there. You know what I mean? And this is like her first time. So, you know, I'm like showing her a couple things, going easy on her. And then there's a guy, he's like, in Spanish, he's like, "Oh, why don't you train me? Because I don't fucking want
Oh
to.
my god.
And I don't
why don't
know
you. train
you.
Me?
And I don't know you.
Like, what the hell?
You're a creep. You're in front of your friends asking me to train you.
Yeah.
You're a fucking loser.
yo, when I
Don't talk
worked,
to me.
That's crazy,
You're a
man.
fucking
Don't talk to
loser.
me.
when I worked at the
That's how I
gym,
feel too.
I started as a trainer, and then I moved into selling gym memberships. Right, so.
Let's just say selling drugs.
Whenever I would do a tour, now a tour is when you get either a walk-in or someone interested in membership. So, you sit them down, you kind of figure out what they're looking for, and then you show them around the club or the gym based on kind of what their needs are, right?
Right.
So, and then you come back and you try to close it or whatever, right? So, whenever I would do a tour with an attractive female, when she walked out, I would have 5 to 8 trainers coming into my office. Yo, can I do her evaluation? Yo, can I do her fitness
Oh,
test?
man.
Yo, can I get her? Yo, she was bad. Da, 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 da. I'm just like, bro, just for
That's
that,
bad.
I'm not sending her to you.
Yeah.
Are you
That's fucked up.
crazy?
That's crazy.
You're
that's
nuts.
like
You're out of
that's
your
like
mind.
that's abuse.
Dude,
Low-key.
it's
Sexual harassment.
That's
Yo,
that's
It
that's
is.
sexual
listen,
harassment.
you got to
God damn
understand
it.
when you're training, a lot of these trainers, believe it or not a lot, but it happens. They, sleep with
Nah,
their
man.
clients.
Some people, guys
Listen.
definitely use it as a ploy.
100%. You got to
Yeah,
remember,
some.
when you're training someone, you're very close. You're spending.
So you're sweating.
Intimate. It's
You're-
an intimate process.
Yo, when you're stretching someone, you're basically on top of them, dry humping them, dude.
yeah.
Oh,
No, don't
man.
stretch
No,
me
I've
though.
had-
You know what I'm
Stretch
saying?
me. I'll
No.
stretch me.
You know what
Thank
I'm
you.
saying? Like,
yeah, no,
Show
real
me
shit.
what I
Yo.
gotta do and I'll
Yeah.
do it.
And I'll do it. Yeah.
Listen,
stretch me.
but keep in mind,
stretch me.
that's you girls. There's a lot of women out there that get no play.
Of course.
That they love the stretch at the end
Right.
with the muscle head trainer.
But I feel
Right.
like
You know what I'm saying?
and this goes back to just anything when it comes to like connecting with people and
Yeah.
meeting people.
Yeah.
You have to feel people's vibes.
Yep.
Yes.
Even
That's
in the
important.
Uber, even if like you bump into me in the street, like we said that before, you don't know if a person's having a bad day, if they
Yeah.
just received bad news, if they're just not in
Yeah.
a mood, and you don't want to catch them, at the wrong time. You kind of got to feel people's vibes.
do.
It's okay to approach someone, ask questions, but you have to see like their reaction and
Yeah, it's true.
their body language, because sometimes people are just not looking to talk.
Yeah, and also
don't tell
too,
me to smile.
exactly, and also too, I think you have to be self-aware of like who you are and like what your kind of stance is and your position is. I mean, listen, it's hard to go up to a stranger and just start conversation. I never said it was easy, but humans have to connect some way or another. But I think a lot of, and I'm sure it's true for you guys, but you know, a lot of the like friends and people that we know them through someone else, right? Oh, yeah. A lot of the time.
Oh yeah.
You know, I think that's true.
A lot of what is it? Degrees of
6 degrees of separation. Yeah, it is. It's true. And the industry is small, guys. It's very small. It's very small.
That's a fact.
You know, like that's why it's like, you know, we get inquiries all the time about like, or I get questions like, hey, like, you know, I'm not in a major city. I'm like in the middle of nowhere. I'm in like fill in the blank city, Idaho or something. Like no one here is serious. There's no artists out here. I feel like I'm missing out because I'm not in the city. And I always tell them, I'm like, you're actually at an advantage. And I'll tell you why. It's because there's talent everywhere, not just in the city. Outside of the city, there's untapped talent and untapped resources that you can tap into. I said tap like a million times, but you can tap into those and start nurturing talent in your local area. I mean, if you go to the city, good fucking luck. Because it's saturated, and a lot of the guys that are killing it in the city already have established they put their flag down already. So it's even harder. So my piece of advice for all the guys listening, if you feel like you're in the middle of nowhere or there's not much going on around you, try looking in your neighborhood and really just look for the talent, because it's definitely out there, man. It is.
Go on freaking Craigslist. Pick your town in Craigslist.
20-mile radius. Who's around? Go
in the musician section of Craigslist. Put a freaking ad up.
Yeah.
Yo, I'm based here. I got a studio. I'm looking for fellow, you know, singers, rap, whatever it is. You would be amazed.
If you're a music,
and it's free.
Yeah. For my music producers, the thing I would suggest to start with is musicians.
Yeah.
Look for musicians. You know how many musicians are out there dying to just like play? Whether it's like, yo, are you in a band? Cool. Can I play guitar for you? Or, hey, do you write music? Cool. Can I compose music with you? Or, hey, are you a producer? Cool. Can I play guitar for you on your track? Like, these guys just want to play. Musicians want to find any reason to just play their instrument. And as a music producer, you can take full advantage of that. And there's a hell of a lot of them everywhere. Trust me. Trust me. If you search, like what Atlas said, Craigslist, like 30-mile radius, I guarantee you'll find at least 15 to 30 people that play guitar.
100%.
Within 1 mile, you'll probably find at least one.
There'll be an opera singer. You just never know. Someone needs to be around that's looking for the same thing you're looking for.
Yeah, and you got to take initiative. Like, you're the music producer, so you have to take initiative with this stuff. You're the leader in this. You know, your responsibility is to be a producer of music. So you got to congregate the people together, get them together. But it's not going to happen by itself.
Right.
Yeah, and it's not easy. Like, this is going to take time. It doesn't mean you do it on Monday and by, you know, Wednesday you're going to have a full orchestra in your house. Yeah. You know, this might take some time, but if you're doing that on top of, you know, going to open mics and going to shows and like giving out your card and like, you know, hitting people up, it's got to give. The bubble's going to burst but you got to keep going.
You got to keep going. That's why I love your story so much, Ad, because that's the perfect example of like, if you never like looked into that Village Voice, the group never would have happened.
Never happened.
And there would have been like a shockwave of like a different type of future for everyone. And that's like, fucking crazy to me.
I tend to like I think a lot. I overthink a lot sometimes, and I'm trying to get over that. So my mind is always running and like thinking of details and this and that. So I'm always like breaking shit down. Like, wow, if that never happened, this really would have never happened. It's kind of like me. Like, you know, I went to Engine Room as a student, you know, to learn engineering, because I figured learning how to engineer would, you know, help me train my ear a bit more and gain more knowledge, and it'll help me make my production sound better. So I just went as a student, not knowing that like Angela Yee was close to the people there already, and I built a relationship with her before even considering doing music production, which is funny.
So that was coincidental almost in a way.
Wow.
So she was just my client in the fashion sense. And then, you know, I knew she was involved in the music later on. And, you know, then I decided to go to Engine Room, and someone was like, well, you know, Angela knows such and such, and you know Angela. So I was like, oh, okay. So when I spoke to Scott, shout out to Scott Lee, he was like, you know, Angela, come right in. I've known her for 20 years. I'm like,
referral. That's an example.
Then,
there it is.
Yeah, and then like, you know, I went as a student, and then I did that for like 5 months, and then they were like, hey, we want you to intern. And I was like, oh, okay, whatever. You know, I was still doing what I had to do on the side as far as like my job and, you know, pursuing music production on my own. So I was like, okay. And then it turned into like a paid position 2 months later, which in turn helped me like meet everyone that I've been meeting, including you guys, and just building my relationship and just, you know, like bettering my skill and, you know, working towards perfecting my craft.
Yeah.
So,
no pun intended.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
No pun intended.
So, pun intended. Pun intended.
Oh, pun intended. Yeah, why
pun
not?
intended.
Yeah.
So, you know, a lot of times I'm like, wow, like if these little things would have never happened, these bigger opportunities wouldn't even like.
It's so true.
You know what I mean?
So true. I'm not even gonna. It's
like I would have been I would have probably graduated college miserable.
Yeah.
Listening to
Looking
my dad.
for work.
I remember, I think we said it on one after. I remember when I met you was at Fancy.
Yep.
With Ryan Leslie.
The Ryan Leslie and ASAP Ferg were performing.
Yeah.
It was like a pop-up thing at that Fancy, the venue down, I think in Soho.
In Soho, yeah.
And it ended. It was the end of the night, and there was this guy named Ox.
Yeah.
Right. And I met him, and then Ryan was like, "Oh, I want to get in the studio," and then Ox was like, "Yo, hit up Perfection," like, you know. And then like that's like the first time I met you was through there. You know, so it's like, again, it's just coming. And then we were doing this, and I was like, oh, my God. And then I hit you up.
Full circle.
Yeah, and I hit Glam, and I was like, yo, we're doing this thing. You know what I mean? And it was just like, it's amazing how all this stuff happens.
I mean,
It's
like,
wild.
I thought we was guests.
Yeah.
Like,
I was like,
hey, come back next.
Yeah.
Next week?
Next week.
Because Atlas told me, he's like, hey, I want to talk to you about something. I'm like, cool. Because I wanted to talk to him about music anyways.
Yeah.
And then he told me, and I was like, I'm so used to being behind the scenes of, you know, podcasts, like co-producing them and things like that. And I never saw myself as like a podcaster, so to speak, in the sense of where everyone wanted to do like a pop culture podcast and gossip.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I was never
always one of those
into that.
too.
So I was always
Yeah.
like, I'd rather co-produce them or executive produce them and like, cool. So when he told me his music production, I was like, this actually might work because it's something that I really want to do.
Yeah.
Like it's not just like, you know, what Beyonce ate for dinner yesterday.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
I mean, we could talk
Although
about that
that's
too.
Yeah,
though.
we could.
Shout
We
out
will
to the
talk about
Beehive.
that.
We
Yeah.
will.
Shout out to the Beehive.
Yeah, don't let them
Talk about
come for you. Don't let them come for you.
Yeah.
But you know, like,
Yeah, it's true.
you know, it's bigger than just like, hey, what happened this week?
Yeah,
You know,
I mean,
it's
listen,
beneficial.
and no knock to that. I mean, there's a
Yeah,
place
exactly.
for
Yeah, for
everything.
sure.
I love a lot of that stuff, but I think what's cool about what we do here on Blapchat and what we've built so far is just like exactly what you said. The essence is music production, and I think that's the key sort of like foundation and the subject matter of it, and for good reason. I mean, we all do it. You know what I mean? And so there's so much to talk about with music production. I mean, I feel like, you know, we're 37 episodes deep. We've covered so much, but I feel like we were just scratching the surface.
I feel like in like 2020, the producer might be as more important than the artist
It will.
itself.
I'll make sure of it.
You know what I mean?
I'm actually in a few. Well, we won't even.
don't even wanna scratch
This is
that.
not the right
We'll talk about that.
format to say anything about that. But just trust me. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, you're right. Things are going to change for sure. But listen, all the things that we do, all the things we talk about are for the perspective of the music creator. And like that's and this is a good segue to the thing I want to talk about next is you know, obviously the studio is no more, RMG, sad day. But so RIP RMG. But for the last month, I had this idea of inviting different producers over to the studio before I closed the studio. So I was inviting small groups of producers to my studio in Brooklyn, which is now closed, but come to the studio, and then from 7 to 8 p.m. they would come in and pass the aux, plug the aux in and play their beat or their beats, and then I would give them constructive criticism. Me and Atlas would talk about the music, and then they would have questions like, hey, you know, how do I get myself out there, or what do you think about this snare, or how do I get songwriters? So basically the stuff we talk about on the podcast. And so we had a lot of amazing people come through from all over the world. I mean, it was like cross country. We had guys from like Ukraine, like I think Australia, like it was just everywhere. And so those experiences were really empowering, man. They were, because, you know, you would have a group of like 5 to 10 people from all different walks of life, and then by the end of the session they're like exchanging contacts and saying, yo, you play guitar, cool, man, like let's connect, like let's whatever. So like I really believe in, you know, going out of your way to do things to try to get people together. I think the key is like community and getting people together that are like-minded. And so that being said, I only did it for the month and then I stopped doing it. But I just recently decided today that I want to start opening that up. And I think I'm going to start doing, or I am going to start doing private Pass the Aux sessions in different cities all around the globe. So yeah, so if you go to my Instagram account, you'll see a post about it. But yeah, just guys, keep a heads up on that. Go to blapkits.com, blapkits.com. I'm gonna start putting up like, you know, just open calendar dates and cities that I'm going to be coming to, and then just book your slot and then we can vibe out. But I think it's important to like really, you know, engage in that stuff. I mean, what do you guys think?
I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
I think the better. I mean, the more of
I didn't want to come off like I was just like, what do you guys think of my awesome idea?
What do you guys think of that?
Can you give me some validation right now?
It's hot, right?
Please.
Like, what is it? No,
that shit's hot, right? Like
shit's hot, right?
Right.
I'm the fucking
awesome, right?
Right.
Tell me how fucking awesome that is, guys.
I would say James feeling himself.
Oh my God.
Somebody said if Christina came back, he's gonna die.
Christina has to come back in order for James to come back.
My mother's sick. She
Christina was in rehab for about 2 minutes. I say 2 minutes. She had to go back to the bourgeois to get her big wine glass of Chardonnay.
No more wine for my wife.
Chardonnay. Okay, wait.
For Christina.
No, for Christina.
I hate Christina. I love her.
James. I hate James, but I love James at the same time because he's James.
I watch Batman all day.
I
like gigs. I like rap music now because of Drake.
I like that Drake. I love that Kris Jenner.
She's just
okay, wait.
Wow.
Going far away.
Too much.
Kris
Honestly,
Jenner's a legend, just for the
she
record.
honestly, I think she's like one of the like.
She is.
She's like one of the hardest, like the thuggest. Like she's
Momagers.
Yeah, she's a thuggest momager. Aside from like Sonya Norwood, I had to say those are like the best. Like
that's awesome.
Just mogul mothers. Like along with I would say my mom's pretty beastly as well. So yeah, the people can't stand them. There's a you know what I'm saying, there's a reason for that. And shit, Kris Jenner just got money. But
yeah, so my idea is awesome.
Back to your idea. Yeah, the shit's hot. But I was gonna say it's good
fire.
because the more support that we have for producers, I was gonna say
that's
better
really,
because it seems like we always have things like, oh yeah, you know, people have open mic nights all the time and like slam poetry nights and like, you know, vibe singer-songwriter sessions.
Which I do think is healthy though,
yeah,
too.
No, and then producers can have their piece of that, you know, we gain something from that too, but to have something that's directly catered and then like for me, for a person who really wants to do this and to be keeping their eyes open and ears like they're supposed to, and they know about this podcast, will hear about that and be like, oh my God, yes, like when he comes to my city, I'm gonna make sure I'm there.
Right.
I'm gonna call off work and like and it's like people need that because they need people to care and
and also
like
too exactly. It's really important to like be a part of like what you want to do. It's like how miserable is it to be a music producer but then like not be able to like meet other music producers? I mean, I feel like that's so important. It's like any other job, right? It's like if I like play basketball, it's like, damn, I don't want to just shoot hoops by myself.
Right.
I need to play with a team. I want to play with like, I want teammates, you know? So
you want dope teammates, but still.
Yeah, I want dope teammates.
You want to just play with everybody.
And that's the cool thing about doing it from city to city is because by doing that, well, originally when, you know, you started, the idea was everyone was coming to RMG and they were coming to Brooklyn from Toronto, Ukraine, from all over. Now that we're going to their city, the cool thing about that is the locals are going to hear about it. They're all going to show up. And now whoever's there, they're all like in this, you know, like within 10 miles of each other.
Yeah. It's like, wow, I never met you, but you live like 2 blocks away from me.
And then you know what's going to happen? Mark my words. That night after we do the Pass the Aux, some of the producers, like my studio's right down the street. You want to come? You want to come and you know, boom, boom, you know, create some shit.
Boom,
so they want to go boom, boom, boom.
Want to go?
You want to go boom, boom, boom?
Hey, come on, man. We got to go boom, 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 boom.
Boom, boom, boom.
Go boom, boom, boom.
I want a boom, boom.
Sound like a mobster. Come on, let's
hey,
boom,
little
boom,
boom.
boom.
Come on, little boom, boom, boom.
I'm gonna go to the studio and boom, boom, boom.
Oh my god! I don't know, but I love it.
Take it how you want it.
Love it.
Yeah, like that's supposed to mean like.
Take it how you want it.
If any of you guys listen, you guys listen right now. If you meet Atlas the Plug in person, go up to him and be like, "Yo, Atlas, you want to go boom, 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 boom?" All right, please do that for me.
Yeah, I would love to go boom, boom, boom.
No, you know what was really cool though, Ill and Glam Perfection is that when we were doing the Pass the Aux chord, Pass the Aux at RMG, when I would go, because RMG was like, it's unassuming. When you got there, you're like, oh, am I in the right place? I don't know if this is the right place. And then you go in and it's like, oh my God, this is great.
Right.
But when I would go out and meet them and I'd bring them into RMG, 95% of each producer that came in, the first thing they would say to me was, I love what you guys are doing on Blap Chat. I listen every single week.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Almost every, that was the first thing out of their mouth. And I was like, this is freaking awesome.
You know what's really surreal? It's like our we've grown this with nothing. Like no fancy budget, no like outside company coming in and pumping their followers. This is literally so organic, and we're still so early in this. But not only do I love the fact that it's organic, but even if it was 100 people that listened every week, that's 100 people that are listening, dedicated to this every week, and that feels so good, man. That's like so empowering, man. I feel really proud of that. But and our numbers are just growing by the day. So like, shout to you guys who support, shout to all you guys out there who listen to us and follow us on social media and spread the word as well. Like tell your friends,
Follow us on
you know what I mean?
media.
Follow us on all social
social handles. Follow us on all the social handles.
Meet me in front of Buckingham Palace. But
Buckingham Palace,
where the Queen lives. Yeah, so I think me and the Queen are the same age. Yeah, so shout out to you guys who follow and tell your homies, like, and spread the word. Like, it really means a lot to us, and it allows for us to just continue to do this, man. We love talking about everything music production. And again, hit us up if you have any questions about anything that you're wondering. We have so much more to do. We have so many amazing guests that we're going to be bringing in.
Oh yeah.
Definitely look out, obviously in the near future. But yeah, man, we love it all. We really appreciate you guys. And speaking of beats, it's going to be time soon, in about 10 seconds.
Yes.
We're going to go into a segment called Blap or Crap.
3.
Boom, boom, boom.
No.
Okay.
No,
That's where we boom, boom, boom.
Yeah,
Boom, boom, boom,
Boom, boom, boom.
Come on, we go to the studio. Boom, boom, boom.
Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, go to the studio. Boom, boom, boom.
Boom, boom, boom.
Why?
A little boom here,
Yeah.
a little boom there.
It's like, what do you mean, boom? You know,
Gotta add a little more boom, boom to
Yeah.
that.
gotta
Yeah.
need some boom, boom. It needs some boom, boom.
Need
You
some
need some
boom,
boom boom in your life. But Blap or Crap, basically what we're going to do here, guys, is we are going to go into our email address. We're going to email, and we're going to play your beats that you submitted to us at random. And we're going to play a snippet, and we'll play the beat. And then if we like the beat, we're going to give it a blap. And if we don't like it, we're going to give you a crap. And we are going to give you some constructive criticism to the best of our ability on how it can improve. Well, oh, man. That's bad.
Mundo's usually the...
Yeah.
No, I'm trying to see where Earl is at.
Yeah.
Earl, yeah.
Yeah,
Earl will
coming
come
soon.
out.
You said
So
you-
Earl will come out. So
out
if you
soon.
guys want to submit your beat to this segment, Blap or Crap,
Yeah.
just send one MP3 attachment to info@blapchat.com, info@blapchat.com. One MP3 attachment, email subject Blap or Crap. That's very important. And we might pick your beat at random during one of the shows. So we are going to get into Blap or Crap. Let's do it.